Hello everyone. In this video we're creating a recipe generator using OpenAI GPT API and the DALL API as well. On the first video we're going to generate our landing page, so most of the UI will be created in the first video. And in the video I will mention that we have some markup data that I provided a link in the video description, so you can go here. And just to speed up the creation of the landing page, you can go and grab the text from here, and I will tell you where to paste it in each section. Just wanted to make sure you can find this link in the video description. So let's get started, jump right into the video. Let's start creating our recipe generator and let's begin with our landing page. See you in there. Welcome back everyone. So in this video, we're going to create a recipe generator that is going to be using the OpenAI API. We're going to use GPT to generate the new recipe based on the ingredients that the user is going to input. We're going to send it to the OpenAI API, and then also we're going to use the DALL API or image generation API to generate a dish image that is going to go together with the recipe. So I know a lot of people like to build recipe applications or some type of recipe dish application, so I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this one. So our application is going to be built with Next.js, and we're going to be using the OpenAI API, the GPT API, and the DALL for the image. We're also going to store in the image files. We're going to use Cloudinary to store the image files. You can use S3 or any other file storage that you might know how to use. This one is pretty simple to set up, so I picked this one for this project, but you can replace it with anything you want. And then we're going to store the recipe, and we're going to store the URL for the image that we store in the file storage as well into our MongoDB database. So this is gonna be fun. Let's get started. The first thing we're gonna do is to generate a brand new application. So we go over to the Next.js documentation, and for the requirements you need Node 18.18 or high or older. So make sure you got that installed, and then we're going to generate a brand new application. So let me bring in my terminal here, and I can just copy this here and bring it over to my terminal. Make sure you CD into the folder where you want to create your brand new application, and we're gonna paste, whoop, that didn't copy it, so I'm just gonna type it all out, npx create -next-app at latest, and we're gonna hit enter there. This is gonna ask you a few questions, just like you see here in the documentation, and we're going to answer these together to create a new project folder. So the name of the application, I'm just gonna call it recipe generator, and I'm going to hit enter. Let's say yes for TypeScript, ESLint yes, Tailwind yes, src directory, I'm gonna say no, but you can say yes if you want the src folder. App router, I'm gonna say yes. If you want to customize the alias, no, and that's everything we need to answer there. So that's going to generate our project folder, and this could take a couple of minutes. I'm gonna pause here and going to resume when this is done. All right, so my application, my new project is complete. Now we can CD into the new project directory. So CD into recipe generator, and we're going to open this up with VS Code. So you can type code space dot. If that doesn't work for you, you just open up a new VS Code window and open this folder from the file menu. So this is gonna open up in another screen. Let me bring it over to this one. I can put this terminal. I'm gonna close this terminal. We don't need this one anymore. And I'm going to bring over my VS Code window here. And let me put these two side by side. That's not what I want. Let's get this next to each other. There we go. So we can see it in here. Cool. So now we can open up a terminal inside of VS Code. So you can click here, terminal, new terminal. And I can hide this stuff. Now here we can run npm run def. So we can run the development server inside of our computer. Now this is going to be running on port. Looks like I have something running on port 3000 already. So this is gonna open up in 3001 for me. So I'm gonna go to localhost 3001, but for you it might be just 3000. It's compiling the application and we see the brand new application here. Cool. So the page that we see here is inside of the app folder. So anything that has to do with the application routes and files, components, not components, components could be outside, but the routes are also going to be in here. So if we open up the app component and go to the page.tsx file, this is this initial page that we see here. So we're going to clean everything up here. So we're just going to keep the main tag. So from the div here all the way to the closing div all the way at the bottom, we're going to delete all of that. We're just keeping the main, and in here let's go with an h1 here right away, and let's call this recipe generator. That's fine, that's what we call it, recipe generator. That's good. So for the main tag here, let's keep we can keep all of this. We just need to remove, let's get rid of these two classes here. All right, that is fine. Now let's clear up our globals.css here. So I'm just going to leave the 3 lines at the top. We're going to get rid of everything else in here and save it. Cool. So we got everything clear up. Nothing on the globals except for the 3 directives at the top. Then here, back to the page here, let's go with a little bit more of styling here. So we can say we're gonna keep the flex minimum height to the set to the screen, flex call, and then let's do on a medium size, let's do padding x-24, and on a large screen we're gonna do padding x-48, and we're going to set our fonts to font-serif, and then in the h1 here we're going to add a class name, there we go. And here let's set the text to 5XL. Let's do a little bit of margin top of 10-10. Let's do margin bottom -2 and font serif. I think we already have it at the top, so that should be good enough. There we go. So there's some margin to the top for navigation, margin to the bottom for the next element we're going to put here. So there's a link in the video description that is going to have some markup, just because we're going to do a little bit of we're going to put a little bit of information to our landing page. So I'm going to give you all that information in the link on the video description. So you can find it there. It's going to be inside of a markup folder with the HTML that I'm going to copy and paste just to move a little faster with the dummy text we're going to put here. So in here, let's see what we're going to do here. Let's do a paragraph here. And then we're going to set up we're going to copy from the markup the text that is in there, and we're going to paste it in here, just a little bit of a quote for our application. And then this looks a little bit small, so let's do class name, and let's do text-2XL, and then a margin bottom of 10. And I'm missing a nest here, class name. There we go. Cool. So in here, we are going to add a image. Let me create some space in here. So we already have the image imported at the top. If you deleted it, just import it back in. And in here, we're going to have a div. And we're going to have a image. And the image is going to have the source. And for the source, we can go to Unsplash, and we can grab an image from there. I already have one. Let me see if I can just I downloaded it. You can search for recipe. I think I searched for that and grab this one here. So I can click on it again. You can copy the image address, or you can download it. You can save the image. I already have it saved. And I'm going to just drag it over to my public folder. So public folder here, I'm going to drag the image. Where is in my image public folder? Not public folder, downloads here. I got it. So I'm going to drag it over to the public folder here. You can see it's the same image here. So just download whatever you want, whatever image you want, and bring it over to the public folder. So now that it's in the public folder, we can point to that image by saying / and then the name of the image, which is recipe _ generator. Actually, I rename it to this here. So when you download it, just make sure you have the image name correctly. WebP. All right, so what do we need? In here, we need a few things. We have the src pointing to the image. And then we're going to need to set, in order for this I want this image to fill up the div here. So on the div, we're going to set the class name to width-full. So we can say go with the width, and the height, we're going to set it to auto for more responsiveness. We're going to set the size attribute here. So in order to make sure this takes the full size, it fills up the div here, we're going to set this to 100 VW. The width, we're going to set it to 1024, and the height as well. And then we are going to, let's set the style to have a width of 100%. And we're going to set the height to auto as well. Next, we are going to set the, let's see, we have the size, the width, we have the style, source, and let's see, what am I missing here? So then must have an old prop. Let's put the old prop here. So old, let's say recipe photo. All right, so let me make sure I have the, it's not generator, it's just gen. So make sure you got the right name of the image. So let me refactor this so it can look a little bit better. There we go. So we have a div that is going to expand the full width. Height is to auto, so it can be responsive. So if we resize this window, it will look pretty nice. And on the image, you also have to set that in the style, set the size to take all the width available and width and height to this default value here. So this image component comes from Next.js, and this is just going to ensure that we have the best image size for depending on the device that the user is accessing your website from. This component is going to make sure it gets the right size, so we always want to use that one, this image component, when we're working with images here. So after this, let's just have a section, and for the section, I'm gonna give it a section ID just so we know in here what these sections are all about. So this is gonna be like the hero underscore section. So this is where we we're gonna try to get the user's attention about our product that we are showing them. Let's have a class name here set right away, and then set the padding to 10 and margin Y to also 10. Inside of the section, I'm just going to have a paragraph, and the paragraph, you can find the paragraph in the markup file that is attached to the video description. And I'm going to paste the paragraph here. I just have some description here, and to the paragraph, we're going to add a class name, and let's set that to text. Let's save it first, just to see it there. And then let's set the text to 5XL and some padding at the bottom of 5. All right, so let's see how it looks a little bit bigger. That's cool. Let's keep it there. Refactor this. All right, so that's that section in there. Let's see what else we're gonna do here. Let's have the next section that we're gonna have is going to have, well, we need to actually have a call to action button, or like get started button here for the user to click and go into our product. So our product is of course the recipe generator. So this is just our landing page, right? So in here, let's see if we should, yeah, let's put it inside of this section here, because that's part of the hero section. So let's have a link here. So link, this is a component from Next.js, and we're going to set get started, and we're going to, oops, let's have for the link, oh, make sure that the link is imported at the top. it was auto imported for me, so you just make sure you have it as well. Let's set the href to go to, we're gonna have a page that is gonna be /create. So let's just set that in here right away. We got the image, we got the get started, and then let's have a horizontal rule here just to add a little bit of separation at the bottom. So let's see in here. We can keep it like this. I will make this a little bit bigger on the link here. So let's just do class name. Let's just say text dash LG, or even bigger. That should be bigger, but we can come back to that. Right now we don't have the page, but should be maybe center and way bigger than that, so the user can actually see it and click on it. So I just want to continue putting the text in here, all the information we're going to have for the page. We'll come back to that in a second. So for the next section here, we're going to have a section for how it works. So section, let's set a ID, and let's just say how it works. Inside of the section, I'm going to copy a UL with the different steps on how our product works. So just copy that from the link in the description and paste it in here. Let me format the document so we can see the UL in here. And let's see in here, let's save it. Let's see how it looks in here. Okay, so let's have a class name here. Let's do text dash to Excel. Let's have padding of 10. And let's have leading loose. Where's loose? Right here. So we can have more like line heights between the different lines that we have here. So input, there we go. And let's have a H2 here inside of the UL. This says how it works. All right, we can make that bolder, we can make that bigger too. That's fine. We'll come back to that. Just want to fill this up. Cool. So there's two more sections that we're gonna create very quick. So section, next section ID would be y underscore choose us, and here again from the link we're going to, on the link markup, we're going to copy the y choose us UL with that information. We're going to paste it in here and format it so it can look better. There we go. So for this one, we can have in the section class name text dash to Excel, padding 10, or and also leading loops. Let's see. Okay, and let's do in here another H2 and Y choose us. Question mark, just like this. Cool. Yeah, we gotta make that a little bit darker so it can look better. but that's fine. These are just pretty much our dummy text, but what chooses us, we have an AI powered creativity, harness the power of AI to unlock endlessly culinary possibilities, and there's a few more sections in here from the UL. You can style the ULs and then the LIs if you want in a different manner, but I'm just gonna keep it like this. Just trying to fill this up. And the last section we're gonna have is going to be for testimonial. So ID, and in here again, check the link where we have the markup and copy the testimonial section in here, which is 2 paragraph formatted and is down here now. And for this one, for the section, we can do the same thing. Let's just copy this. And I know they all share kind of like the same classes, but we can come back and style this a little bit different for the different sections. So for now, this looks cool. We have the how it works, why it chooses us, and in here, let's do inside of the section H2 testimonials here. Cool. So we have kind of like a review from Jamie and another one from Sarah in here. So that is all the information we want to put on the landing page, right? So now we have kind of like a nice initial look for our landing page for product. We have some recipe image. We have some nice introduction, how it works, why I choose our product, testimonials, and you can have more on the why how it works. You can have like a little short video that shows how to do it, how to generate a new recipe and all. But that's everything we're gonna put in here for now. So let me hide this terminal, and we have a link here that is going to take us to the get started page when we click on this here, which we gotta make a little bit bigger. So before we continue to that page, let's go to our layout. So we have the page here. We have a layout in here. This is our main layout where we're rendering all the pages, all the children. So in here, we can go and create a small navbar and a footer. So let's go in there and let's have a right on top of the body here. Let's render a nav element, and here we're going to have a link. Make sure the link gets imported at the top, this line. Here we're gonna have a home, which is going to go to just /. Then we can have, let's just keep it at that for now. And to the navbar, looks like we got an error here. Hydration for because UI does not match what they were. Okay, let's just refresh the page here. And that we have a home page. Let's see in here. So where did it go? Wait, no. So let's move this in here, right on top of children. So inside of the body, right on top of children here, we're gonna have the navbar. That is gonna look just like this. Now we're good here. The navbar was outside of the body, so that's not where we wanted. So navbar goes here. to the navbar, let's add a class name. And for the navbar, we are going to add flex, justify around, and we're gonna give it a padding x dash 20, padding y of 5, and we're gonna do a border dash b for bottom of dash 2. There we go, just a very simple navbar here. Now we got the home, so we can also have in here, let's do 2 more. Whoops, not 3. There we go. So we're gonna have one for the create page that we're about to create. And we're gonna have a how it works in here, just so we can link to the section on the main page. So here, this is gonna navigate to /create. This is going to navigate to /hashtag, and then I think we call it how underscore it underscore works. And we can check the ID name in here to make sure it matches how it works. Okay, so if we go here, if we click here, it should take us to that section here, so we can see the segment here. We got the home page, and if we click on create, it's gonna show our 404 because we haven't created that page yet. So let's create that. So inside of the app folder, we're going to right click, new folder, create, and then we're going to create a new page.tsx, and your pages needs to have, the file name needs to be page in order to be picked up as a page component. So in here, let's just do export default function create page, return a div, and let's do an h1 create for now. We'll come back to that in a second. Before we go there, let's go back to the layout. Let's test this here. So now if we go to how it works, scroll the way to the top, home, create, it shows that page in there and it's not broken anymore. Good, so we got the nav bar at the top. We don't have a footer. Let's just create a quick footer right after children here. And I'm going to also provide the footer text that we are going to put in here. It's going to be in the markup file. So I'm going to just copy that and paste it in here. It's just some placeholder text and format it. Say stay connected with us on social media, and then in here you will put all your links to your social media pages in there. So to the footer, let's add a class name, padding -20, py-5, and then border -t for top of 2, just so we can match what we did here. We put it at the bottom, here we put it at the top. And if we make this bigger, okay, not bad. Cool, so we're pretty much done with our landing page. Let's go to our create page, and in here we can see we have the navigation on top and the footers all the way here, because this is everything we have on this page. So we're gonna fix that now. All right, so for the create page, this is where we're going to have the form where the user is going to insert the ingredients that they want to use to generate a new recipe. So this is going to be a client component. So let's just have use client directive at the top to let Next.js that this is a client component, because we need to import here. Let's import the state for our form, and then we can keep it here. Let's go and create a state variable for our ingredients. So we need a ingredients array and set ingredients here equals to use state, and this is going to be we're going to initialize it to an empty array, and for TypeScript we're going to say, hey, this is going to be a string array, and that's everything we need there. We can also have our loading state, so let's just create it now. So loading, and set a loading equals to use state, initialize it to false, and that's about it. Cool. All right, so let's work on the form, or in the page. Actually, we're gonna have a form inside of the page. So in here, let's start by adding the h1 that will say generate a new recipe in here, and let's make this, actually first let's go to the div here, let's add a class name, and let's do height dash screen, so we can see, we can have the space here, so this can take the available space for the screen. So let's just have that in here for now until we fill this up with content. And let's do a little bit of a, this is optional, you can do a little bit of a gradient here, so we can have, let's say, bg dash gradient, and then the gradient could be to the, not to the top, but to the right, so to R. And then we're going to say from dash, and the color that we want to initialize from green dash 200, and then 2 dash amber 200. Cool. That's nice. On the H1, I just picked some fresh colors for our recipe. So class name here on the H1, let's make this text dash 3XL. Let's add a padding to the top of 5, margin left of 5. Let's do font, let's do the font here, so let's do font dash bold just to make it darker, and you can change the font if you want as well. I'm just gonna keep it, no, we did font serif, so let's keep font dash serif here so it can look similar to our homepage in here. Cool. We can have a little bit of margin top 10 here. That's cool. We can keep it. That's fine. We can keep it just like that. That's all right. So after the H1, let's just work with the form. So let's have a div here as well, so we can wrap the form in here. And for the form, we're gonna have a label. The label is going to say something like which ingredients will you like to use, something like that. Cool. And then after the label, we're going to have a text area, text area, let's just have it here. And for the text area, we are going to, let's leave the text area there. Let's have another input of type, let's set the type to submit. Just like that. Yep, that's good. So on the div here, let's give this a little bit more of styling right away. So class name on the div, let's set this to a flex container, flex dash calls, so we can put everything top to bottom. And let's center the items center in here. Let's go and why do I need the div? I think we can put this to the form. Do I need the div? Let me see. I don't think I need the div. I don't think I'm doing anything else in there. All right, let's keep this in here for now. I don't know if I'm gonna need that div anyways. Let's keep let's keep adding the classes here. So let's set this to flex call. Try to remember. Let's do width 96 to make this wider, and then we're going to do height dash 96 as well. Let me see how this is not. That's, let me see. Flex call. Let me see. No, let's keep it there. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I need this div or not. Just enter the page. Yeah, let's just keep it. I don't remember if I was gonna do anything else in here. All right, so we got the form. Let me format this so it can look better. Okay, so we got a div wrapping the form. We got the form inside, and then we got a label here. So let's do HTML for, and this is going to be for the ingredients. So in ingredients, and then what else? Let's set a class name. And for the label, let's do font dash bold, text dash, excuse me, dash LG. Let's do text dash center. Underline if you want. What else do I want to have in here? That's fine. I need some margin. Let's do text dash, no, I already did text. Let's do margin top dash 2, not too much. No, that's too little. 5. That's fine. Let's do 5 or even a little more, like 10. That's fine. So a label, that's everything we need for the label. So for the text area, let's do a little bit of styling on the text area here. Class name, let's have a border, margin tab dash 2, flex dash 1, so I can take all the space available, padding dash 1, and then let's do font dash sans for the text, and let's set the ID. Let's have the ID here, ID, and ID is going to be equals to ingredients. All right, so now our label goes to our ingredients, And let's make this a require. So the user doesn't hit submit with no text in there. Let's have a placeholder. So for the placeholder, we need to tell our users how to enter the ingredients. So for the placeholder, we're going to put in there enter ingredients separated by commas, and then we're gonna have a example in here, like, I don't know, rice, chicken, and I don't know, peppers, any ingredients you want in here. So let's see, let's do, let me see why 96. Let me see if this is not expanding. Let's see. Let's move item center. Okay, there we go. Cool, that's fine. So the div, we can keep the div here. We can style the form inside like this, flex first call, and this is bigger there. That's fine, that looks better. So if we make this bigger now, that's fine. We can even make that bigger, but that's okay for now. Cool, so we got the div, we got the form, so we got the label, we got the text area. We need to just go to the input here, and to the input, let's go and add a couple of classes here. Class name, let's do a margin tab -5, border, let's do rounded to make the button round, bg-green-500, let's do text white, let's do a padding of 1, let's do, we're gonna have a margin, where is this, so many spaces here, a margin X of 5 on a small screen, and then on a medium screen, MD, we're gonna have a margin 0, and let's set the border also, border dash green dash 500, so it can match completely our button, so I can fill that up. There we go. And let's say on hover, on the hover state, we want the border to be a little bit darker, so let's do border dash green dash 950 or 900. Let's see. Cool. And then on hover also, let's do hover, let's do cursor pointer here. Cool. All right, so if we try to click it, it requires, not gonna go. Cool. So what else I'm gonna put in here? I think that's pretty much what we need for the style. Let me format the document. And in here, the user will type the ingredients, and then they will hit submit, and that's about it. So we're done with the JSX here. So with the elements. So let's work with, we have our states, we have our ingredients, we have our loading state here. So on the form, so when the user is typing in the text area, we need to listen for a on change, right? We need a on change event. So we listen for that on change event. We're going to take in the event, and we're going to call the set ingredients, which is our setter function, to set our ingredients inside of the array, and we're going to take each and on every on change we're gonna do e.target that value, and then we're gonna use the that split method to split it by the comma. Cool. Format it in here. So on change is going to take each value, is going to, so not each value, but the value inside of the input at the moment. So whatever they, however many ingredients they put in there, and we're gonna split it by the comma so we can get an array. This is going to give us back an array. So it's split into a substring using the specified separator and return them as an array. So we get a brand new array, which is going to be set on here. So this is going to return a new array. So ingredients will have the new array with the split ingredients. All right, so let's go and what do we need to do next? So ingredients, and that's fine. So the ingredients is what we're gonna send to the OpenAI API. So this is the ingredients we're gonna use to generate the recipe. So down here, let's say we need on the form, we need a on submit. So on submit, we're gonna call the handle submit that we don't have yet. So we're gonna create it here. On handle submit, and there's gonna be a arrow function just like this. And in here, this is gonna be a asynchronous function because we are going to reach out to our backend action that we're going to generate. We're gonna take in the event in here, and this event needs a type of form event. Make sure it was imported here, and then we can do a try catch in here. We can console log the error. In here we can do e.prevent default so we don't refresh our page. And then here is where we're going to yeah, in here we can just call our action creator. So whenever we reach here, we're going to set the loading to true, right? So we're gonna set loading true. Then we're going to, let's just have a console log of ingredients just to see our ingredients. And then let's just give it a try. So in here, let's go and open up our console. And here, clear this up. Close this up for now. And give you a little bit of space here. All right, so here, let's just type rice, comma, chicken, same thing we put there, any other ingredients, and we're gonna hit submit. All right, so this is our ingredients array here. So that's cool. That's what we want. We got the ingredients there. So this is the array of ingredients we're gonna send to our OpenAI API call. So let's see. I think we're pretty much done with the full UI. So after catch here, let's just do a finally, and then have the set loading right away to false for later, for when we actually instead of console login, we'll reach out to our backend. So this is what we're gonna do next. So let's recap a little bit before we move to the next video. So in this video, we created our landing page for our new product, our new recipe generator. So we got a nice landing page. This here needs some work, but pretty much we got all the information there. And then we have the button here where the user can get started, and it will take them to create page where they're going to see a form that they can insert the ingredients that they want, and they can submit, and this will generate a new recipe with a new dish image, and is going to be displayed in a new page for the user. So that's it for this video. On the next one, we're going to jump right into working with OpenAI in order to generate our recipe and our images. See you in the next one.